Hey guys, I'm super excited because with this upload, we have uploaded 100 tutorials about the framework, and I just wanted to do a quick thank you for all our Patreons that make this whole tutorial thing possible for us and support us that we can upload new tutorials. Really appreciate it. That being said, let's start. The component visual is actually for changing the visual appearance of objects. So in most cases, this means changing the material or the textures you've applied to the mesh, like in this case. But you can also use it to change the static mesh itself, like in this example with the bowl here. So everything that defines the visual appearance of an object can be changed. So let's have a look on how we can create this. So first of all, we are going to create a new blueprint actor. I'm going to add a static mesh here and select our statue for an example. And next we're going to add the component visual. And there are all the settings we need to set. So we're going through this process quite some time in this tutorial here. So let's start off. So first of all, we are going to create the name of the current material. Let's go for white. And this is really just a naming convention. So actually you could name it anything you want, but because it's white, I go for white here. I'm going to choose the button material. So this will be the button of the material. And I'm also going to show you later how you can define a texture in there. We are going to assign a key. And it's very important that we set this key as the tag of the mesh we actually want to change the material or the mesh itself. So they need to be the same. And now I can define if I want to switch the static mesh or skeletal mesh, or let's start with something simple here, the material one. So now here I can select the actual material I want to assign. And keep in mind, this can be something totally different than the button material. In most cases, it's actually different. So now I have one material here. I'm going to create another one. So let's do the same process again. We are going to define a name again. So let's go for green. Also going to paste the same key in there. And as the material, I'm going to add the statue green. And I missed the button material here, so I will fix this in just a second. But first of all, I'm going to add a component select, because we need anything to actually show this menu. So I'm going for the selection menu here, add a new item and the visual change. So now if I select the object in game, the menu will appear and I can actually change the visual appearance. So let's try this out. And as you can see, we have our two buttons and we have this green statue and a white one. So actually here I missed this material. That's the reason, it's just the default material here. So I'm going back and fix this here. And I'm going for a green color. So something basic, very flat green color material. Because if you do it like this, you can see that there will be weird UV distortions for the green material now, because it's not intended to be mapped to a flat surface. So let's go for a flat color here. Something like this is much better. So for the next one, I'm actually going to show you how you can use a texture instead of a material here. So in this case, we will create a material and assign this texture for you. So I'm going to select the material I want to have. I'm going to create a screenshot, make it square, and going to save it. And now I can assign this screenshot to my component visual. Let's reset the material here. And set the texture we just created to be the screenshot. Also, let's paste in the same tag again and actually select the red material for the statue. And now I'm good to go. So now if I hit play, I should have 3 icons, 2 with the material and 1 with the texture. So this is working perfectly. Of course, you most likely would want to go with a coherent style. So if you choose materials, I would stick with materials, or if you choose textures, stick with that one. Here you can also toggle through the start color. So if you want to have another material at the beginning, you can totally do this here. And now let's go ahead and remove those. And I'm going to show you the actual change mesh function here. So of course, white is not a very good name for something to change the mesh. So I'm going to show you how you can add this later on, but let's select the picture of the statue here. And again, use the very same name because we're still using the same mesh here. And now I'm going to choose the statue because this one is the set of my statue. And I can also change the material here. So I can do both at once. Let's not do this in this case here. Just stick with the default material of the statue. And I'm going to add a new key here. So let's go for something like green. And here I want to spawn another mesh. Actually, I don't want to spawn a new mesh, but I want to switch the current mesh out. So that's different. If you want to replace a whole actor, we have different functionalities for this. So let's go ahead and do the same, do a quick screenshot of our bowl here. And we're going to use this screenshot for the texture image. So I've not assigned a material here for the bowl yet. So in this case, it would have just used the previous material. So let's go for a ceramic white here, so simple white. And now if you hit play, you can see there are 2 different buttons. And I can switch between the statue and the bowl here. But it's still the same actor, so all the logic you have implemented there will apply to this actor. We are not switching the actor here, just the visual appearance. So let's go back to the actual key here, because as I already said, something like white and green doesn't make that much sense in this context. We have created a list of names for you, but of course you can just modify it, replace it, whatever you want. So these are just a couple of colors. But you can also totally go in there and name one statue and the other bowl. Would make sense for our example here, so I'm going to do this here. Hit save, and now if you go back, you can actually select the bowl. We start with the statue. And now everything is much cleaner to look at. And even if other people look at the code and what you've created there, it's much cleaner this way. the statue was a simple example with just one material ID, but if you're working with another mesh, it could have like 1, 2, 3, or even 50 material IDs if you're working with cut files. So of course we also covered this case. So as you can see, we have 2 different material IDs here. Let's select the basic materials here. So these are just the original ones. And we can change those with our component visual here. So right now we've only always added 1 material. So this will be for the first material ID, but we can add as many as we want to. And I'm going to show you how to do this quickly. So all of this process is still the same and you're familiar with all of this. The new thing is this one, if you press 1, it's the first material ID, and the second is for the second material ID. And this way you can very specific define what materials on what ID you actually want to change and what not. So in this case, if I hit play, you can immediately see both materials have been applied. So let's add actually something to change there. So I'm just going to copy my values here, create a new one and paste it in. It's a little bit faster. And now I'm just changing a few things here. So let's go for a green one. And now if I hit play, you can see both material IDs will be changed to the materials I have defined there. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next tutorial. Bye!